All right, get ready because today we're talking about the biggest, most powerful, and slowest crash you could ever imagine. Seriously, this is a collision that literally builds mountains from the ground up. Let's get into it.
So, let me just start with a question for you. When you hear the phrase biggest crash on Earth, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Go on, take a second.
You thinking it's a massive car pileup on the highway? Nope, not even close. We got to think much, much bigger than that. Okay, what about something from outer space? You know, a giant meteor, like the one that took out the dinosaurs. Now that was a huge impact for sure. But believe it or not, the crash we're talking about is even more powerful. And here's the crazy part. It's still happening right now.
The greatest crash on Earth is when two entire continents collide. Yeah, you heard that right. It is a slow-motion smash-up that's been going on for millions of years. The force is so incredible that the ground has nowhere to go but up, creating the tallest mountain ranges on the planet.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to visit the crash scene. Then we'll meet the two heavyweights involved. After that, we'll check out the actual collision, compare some young and old mountains, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with the big picture. First up, let's head to the scene of the crash. And like any good detective, we've got to look for clues. And in this case, the evidence is literally the size of a mountain.
And the best place to see this in action? The Himalaya Mountains. I mean, it says it right here. This is the prime spot on the whole planet to witness this. These aren't just mountains. They are the giant, crumpled-up results of this epic collision.
All right, Section 2. Let's meet the competitors in this showdown. So what in the world has enough power to create the Himalayas? Well, the answer is continental plates. So what is a continental plate anyway? The easiest way to think about it is like a gigantic rocky raft. It's this enormous, super thick piece of Earth's crust, and it's literally carrying an entire continent on its back as it floats and drifts oh so slowly on the hot, gooey rock of the mantle underneath. Now, it's really important to know that not all crust is created equal. You've got two main types. Oceanic crust, the stuff under the ocean, is pretty thin and dense. It's heavy. But continental crust, the stuff our towns and cities are built on, is super thick and way less dense. It's buoyant, kind of like a giant piece of foam in a swimming pool. Because of that, it just can't sink. It's physically impossible to push it down into the mantle. And that single fact right there is the key to this whole story.
Which brings us to Section 3. So what happens when two of these massive, unsinkable rafts are on a collision course? What happens when they finally go head-to-head?
You can actually see for yourself with this super simple analogy. Seriously, grab a piece of paper right now, hold it flat on a table, and just slowly push the two ends toward each other. See that? It can't go down into the table, so it has no choice but to buckle and rise up into a little mountain. That is exactly what happens when continents collide.
We can really break this down into 3 simple steps. First, you have the approach. Two of these continental plates are slowly, and I mean slowly, moving toward one another over millions of years. Then you have the impact. They finally smash into each other with an unimaginable amount of force. And that leads to step 3, uplift. Because neither of those plates can sink, all that rock just crumples and folds and gets shoved straight up into the sky.
So what's the aftermath look like? Well, on the one hand, you get pretty much what you'd expect. You get these massive mountains, and all that pressure and stress causes major earthquakes. But look at what doesn't happen. Volcanoes. Isn't that weird? So why not? Well, it's because when you smash two continents together, the crust becomes incredibly thick. It's just too thick for any of that hot magma from deep inside the Earth to punch its way through to the surface.
Moving on to Section 4. Let's look at some real-world examples, because this whole process has happened over and over again in Earth's history. It gives us a tale of two very different mountain ranges, one that's young and still growing, and one that's ancient. And our first case study is, of course, the reigning champs, the Himalayas. They are the perfect textbook example of a continent-continent collision that is still going on right now as we speak. I mean, just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, the peaks in the Himalayas are over 20,000 feet high. And get this, they're not finished. They are still actively growing, getting pushed just a little bit higher every single year by this unstoppable continental crash.
Now, for our second case study, let's look at some ancient giants. The Appalachian Mountains, over in the eastern US. Now, they might seem kind of small and rounded today, but they are actually the old, weathered-down ghosts of a mountain range that was once just as mighty as the Himalayas, born from the exact same process millions and millions of years ago.
This timeline really puts it all into perspective, right? The collision that created the Appalachians? That happened about 480 million years ago when the supercontinent Pangaea was forming. The Himalayan collision, though, that's way more recent. It only started about 50 million years ago. So today, the Himalayas are still being actively built up, while the poor old Appalachians have been getting worn down by wind and rain for hundreds of millions of years.
Okay, let's bring it all home in our final section, the big picture. So what are the main things you should take away from this incredible story of our planet?
So let's do a quick recap. First, continental plates are basically unsinkable. They're too thick and light. Second, when they smash into each other, there's nowhere to go but up. Third, this upward push is what creates the tallest mountain ranges in the world. Fourth, you get huge earthquakes in these zones, but no volcanoes. And finally, the most important idea of all, our planet is not some static, boring rock. It is a powerful, dynamic place that is constantly changing.
And that leaves us with one final, awesome question to think about. The continents are still moving right now. So, where on Earth do you think the next Himalayas will be born? Thanks for tuning in.